Hello, welcome to the JAV Show. This is Jorge,
And this is Viv.
and welcome back, guys. We haven't had a podcast
Hi.
together for like a month.
In a while.
No, like literally a month, because I think I flew out to the Philippines on the 19th of January. I was supposed to fly out to the Philippines
2 weeks.
on the 19th of January. It's the 16th of February now.
It's a 16. Holy shit.
Yeah, so
Last
about a
time I
month.
really looked at. Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah.
Literally about a month, right? Only a couple days off.
Right.
So we're just gonna get you guys caught up with our lives, I guess. Quick thing with my trip on the 19th, so fucked up. I went to the airport. We all had our stuff. Joyce had like I think a bag to check in. We checked that in, or she had 2 bags to check in. We checked that in. We're sitting like right next to the gate, just like hanging out. And then suddenly the WestJet lady's like, "This flight's canceled." I was like, "The fuck are you talking about? This flight's canceled?"
Bitch?
And then she's like, "Go and grab your bags, and then go to the customer service desk, and they'll figure it out for you."
Mm.
We do that, and the customer desk is like, "Yeah, we have no other flights tonight, so."
Wait, how early before the flight or departure time did they let you know this?
I think it was about, I want to say like 2 hours, maybe a little less than 2 hours, a little bit less than 2 hours.
Mm.
So I think I was supposed to fly out at 7 p.m. and they may have told us, I believe, like 5:15. And I was like, what? Okay, well, you know, my flight from Vancouver to Taiwan's not till midnight in Vancouver, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, you still have time to get me there. But they're like, oh, we have no other flights from Edmonton to Vancouver.
Really? That's
They're like,
shocking.
They're like, it's all booked. I was like,
Bitch.
oh, what the fuck are you guys gonna do, right? They're like, oh, just wait for someone to call you because we have a team working on it.
Mm.
So
Wait, I thought if you cancel and you don't make it to one of your flights and it has connecting flights, the rest are also canceled.
yeah, they're all fucked. I mean,
Like automatically canceled.
they're fucked if they can't get me there, right? So they couldn't get me there, and I was waiting to get like a call back. I was like waiting forever. I was like waiting at the airport, but they're like, "Oh, just go home." I was like, "You guys fucking kidding me? I like really want to prefer to leave today."
Yeah.
But they never called, so I was like, "Okay, give me a taxi chit." They gave me one, and I went home. And 3 hours after, they said they'll call within the hour to let me know what my new flight plan is, right? 3 hours after, I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll call them and I'll figure it out. I called them, and I swear, if I didn't call them, they wouldn't have like figured something out for me.
They weren't gonna call you.
I don't think so.
Why?
I personally did not believe they were going to. So I had like the longest conversation and a battle with this WestJet lady. Not really her fault. It's like the system that fucked up, right? It wasn't her
Mhm.
fault. But I was like, okay, like I'm gonna fight for whatever I can to get to the Philippines as soon as I can, right? I was talking to her, and then she gave me a couple options. I was like, these are all shit, right? So then I ended up going with the least shit option. So I was supposed to fly Friday night on the 19th. I ended up flying Sunday morning. So it was like 36 hours delayed. I was like, you guys are
It's terrible.
fucking assholes. Luckily for me, or like relatively speaking, because I heard on the news like some people waited like 8 days. Like they never contacted them for like 8 days after.
Holy shit.
And because like I'm very
Wait, how do you know about this?
It was
like
on the
for your
news.
specific flight? Oh.
not for my specific flight, but like a lot of people were bitching about WestJet and not figuring shit out, right? Because I've never had, or I think I have had a flight canceled on me, and it was like my Barcelona flight, the first one from Edmonton to wherever was canceled. But I got there and they're like, oh, okay, we'll just redirect you to Toronto and then Toronto to here. And then I made all my flights, right? So I was like, okay, like they fucked up and they understood that they had to cancel this flight, but they made it work for me, right? So I was like, I don't really care, right? As long as I get to my destination at the time I was supposed to, then there's no real problems, right? But WestJet didn't, and it was like 36 hours delayed. I was so pissed. I was like, you guys are fucking joking. They were on the cusp. I feel like that timing they gave me, they were on the cusp of royally fucking up, because I think they have 48 hours. Like they have to get me on another flight within 48 hours, or else they have to like find a way to transport me to somewhere else to get me to my destination, right? So either it's like if they can't get me a flight somewhere, then they have to like, I don't know. I actually don't know if that's the case, but like they'll have to like drive me to Calgary or something and then get me a flight. Like that's
Really?
technically the rules, but I feel like WestJet also doesn't follow the rules, because I was asking them and I was like, okay, why can't you guys get me a flight tomorrow morning? And they're like, oh, we don't have any. And I was like, do you not have any within my seating, like, because I paid economy. Is like, is that why? Because I was like, I don't give a fuck like how you get me there. If you had to fly me a different class just to get me to my location as soon as possible, that's what you should be doing. Because I think the other rule is if they are 9 hours or more delayed, which they were, right? They have to get me there no matter which airline. So if they have to buy a ticket from a different airline, they have to do that. And I was like, telling them, I was like, guys, like what are we talking about here? If you have to buy me a fucking first class ticket, I don't care. Like, just get me to my location. If you have to like put me on jump seats just to get me to where I have to go, I don't care. Like, you have to like figure this out. So then the best they could figure out was like 36 hours later. I was like, wow, this is like actually shit.
I feel like that's not the best.
Yeah, I was like, this was not the best. Like, so I was searching myself on Google Flights. I was like, yo, there's all these other flights. And then their argument was that, oh, but they, like, all these other companies, they will overbook flights and they'll hope people don't show up, and then that's how you get on the flight. But we don't do that. We can only guarantee seats, so that's why we can't book you on there. I was like, man, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right.
That makes sense. So I have heard that before.
If
it's a third party site,
I have heard that too. But I also feel like if you're truly wanting to fix the problem, you would like legit just charter a plane. Just be like, all right, charter a plane. Everyone, we cancel on this flight. They're flying tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. We'll just make it work. We'll just have to pay for a whole chartered flight, right?
They could even buy the flights off of that third party.
Yeah, or like buy all the flights of one seat to cover all the people that they just canceled, right? Or off one plane, right? But I feel like they just chose not to do that. I just feel like they royally fucked up. Now, I don't know if I want to like bring this any further because technically they did already give me some money, but I feel like it wasn't enough. So the rules are like if you're delayed, 3 hours, I think it's like $300. Like 6 hours, it's like $500, and then 9+ hours is $1,000. But anything more than 9 hours, so like 9 hours you get $1,000, and technically 36 hours you also get $1,000. I was like, that's kind of still dumb though, because like there's a big difference between being a day and a half late for your trip and like 9 hours late for your trip, right? Because like my trip was only 2 weeks, so that means they technically took away 10% of my trip by making me a day and a half late.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, man, this is fucking bullshit. I'm still waiting for my expenses to be covered because like because I was delayed, I had to book a different domestic flight from Manila to Lawag, which is where Joyce's family is, and then we had to like get a hotel and do all that shit. So I sent them all those expenses. I'm still waiting for that, but I'm still debating how much further I should go because technically, under the rules of like the Canadian Transport Agency, other than the expenses, they've done everything they're supposed to do, quote unquote supposed to do. Because like I can argue that they didn't give me the like earliest possible flight that they could have found.
Yeah.
But then that's kind of like a he said she said. They can't really look at the history of that, and
they can't prove it anymore.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck, I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a shitty way to start the trip because like I literally got to the airport and then I went home, went to bed, hung out a whole day, annoyed. And then went on my trip.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I'm pretty cheesed about it. I was like, I don't ever want to fly WestJet from Edmonton at least. Because I feel like if you, again, it goes back to living in Edmonton, which kind of sucks. If you lived in Vancouver or Calgary, you don't have this issue because that's where the flights directly go from.
Yeah. So
like if they canceled if they canceled from Calgary to like Japan, for example, that's a bigger deal, but it's also like the entire flight. There wasn't a connection issue. It was just like they just fucked up that one flight and they have to cover everyone and they'll probably figure it out ASAP, right? But because a connecting flight got canceled, they're like, I feel like they're less inclined to do everything possible, right?
It's also not like a major flight hub in a way.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck, man. And that's the other thing. I was searching and because of my lifestyle, I always want to go on a trip like every fucking 4 months. I was trying to look for like, hey, where do I want to go next and stuff. And for a bit, I've been kind of looking to South Korea because I've been and I quite enjoyed it, and Joyce has never been. And I find South Korea is very similar to certain hubs in Asia where it can only be cheap for so long. Like I felt like maybe Singapore back then was cheap to travel to, but now it's like it's the same. Like food there costs about the same as here. Like it's slightly cheaper, but not that much. Yeah. And living and transportation costs the exact same here. It's like it's $3 to take the train there. So I was like, that's the fucking same here, right? So I feel like Japan has already kind of started to catch up with that. Like meals are starting to get more expensive, and living's starting to get more expensive, and transportation starting to get more expensive. They're kind of like catching up from third, second world to like first world kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I feel like South Korea is the next one. So I was like, oh man, like I feel like right now or during this duration of the next 3-4 years is probably the last time it's going to be quote unquote cheap. Because the last time I went to South Korea, food was so cheap.
Oh, so good.
It was so dirt cheap. I was like, $5 could get you like a really full meal.
Oh yeah, now I can't.
Yeah, and $10 would be like premium meal, right? And then $20 is almost like an ace premium meal. At least the last time I went there, because I think the last time I went there, it was like
before COVID.
Yeah, it was like 2016. I think it was like $15 to $20 a person, and we had like premium barbecue. We had like premium meats, and we like had way more food than we can eat. Like our table was this size, and it was full of food, right? And it wasn't like ace as in like it was actually all you can eat. It was like we ordered food and like it filled the whole table. But so yeah, that's why I was looking into South Korea, because I feel like South Korea is like, I feel like they're gonna start getting there, right?
Yeah.
With all their development.
I'm almost surprised that they're not even there yet.
Because the thing is, I feel like the moment that you don't have to complain about AC and it being dirty is the moment they've kind of moved from third world to more like first world, and also that's the moment they charge for first world, right? Like you go to Thailand and you pay dirt cheap for food, but you also, you know, there's bugs crawling everywhere. It's hot as fuck, right?
Yeah,
it's not comfortable, right? But in Japan, it's like, in Japan, it's super comfortable. But then you're also going to start paying for that, right? You're at to pay for that premium now, right?
For sure.
Anyways, back to the main thing. And when I was looking at flights from Edmonton, like throughout the year, it's all like $2,000, right? And the way I kind of look at it is like, okay, if I look 3 months from now and there's no deals, or if there is a deal, then I could wait 3 months before I want to leave. And there might be a deal. Like if you kind of extrapolate, like, okay, because like if you go too far out, they don't have deals.
Yeah.
And if you go too close, they don't have deals. So like I use right now as a timing of, okay, when do they have deals out, right? Like, is it 2-3 months before you fly, you should buy or not, right? But throughout the whole year, like it doesn't even matter when. If you look right now, it's all $2,000 from Edmonton. If you look from Calgary, it's $1,000.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I was like, dude, like literally
that's so easy.
Get in a car, drive down to Calgary, buy a parking pass for a week or 2 weeks or however long you go. If you go with 2 people, like you already saved $2,000. So if that parking thing's only cost like $200-$300, that's like, okay, well that's still cheaper, right? And
just leave the car at a friend's house.
Yeah, something, right? Just something. And I was like, dude, like what the fuck?
Holy shit.
I should just do that. Like that's so much more convenient.
Significantly cheaper.
Yeah, like it's insanely cheaper. Because I thought if it was like $300 cheaper, I was like, okay, it's not worth it. That's kind of like the gas money's not worth it anymore and stuff. But if you had 4 people, you save $4,000 right there. Right? And then you just drive down there, park a car, you know, gas their gas back. That's like what, $100-some max kind of thing. Like even if it just depends on the type of car, right? And then another $100-ish, $200 for the parking, right?
Yeah. Or if you really want, you could get like Flare or some shit for like $100
just to go down there, right?
Yeah, and that's still cheaper than driving.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, what the fuck? So then I started, you know how we have like YEG deals as a site?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is YYC deals for sure, right? I search on YYC deals. They have deals all the time. Whoa. We have deals once every 2 weeks.
Yeah. There's all the time.
YYC every week. Oh, dude, you go to France from Calgary for $500.
What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. So life hack for everyone out there: go to fucking Calgary. So like right now they have a Calgary to Seoul, $956 to $999. That's the deal they have right now.
Oh, that's.
But when I searched, this was like year round. Like I searched from now till like September, and other than like high season, like summer, like July, August.
Yeah, it's
$1,000 throughout the whole, like throughout the entire time between now and September, except for that high season area.
Yeah.
So like damn, and then so that was posted on February 4th. The week right before that, or the day before that, Calgary to Paris, $464 to $550. And then the same day.
Do they have specific dates for that?
They always do, right? But like
what?
I think it's not that not that bad. So October, November, first week. So this was in 2023.
Oh fuck.
Oh, this is okay. So this was old, but then the new stuff was January, February, March, April of 2024, which is like right now, right? And then, yeah. So when I saw on Google Flights that Calgary to there was cheaper, I was like, oh, let me see if YYC deals have like really good shit, and they have shit. Other than this week, like all of the week of February 1st, they've had like 5 deals. Okay. Just to give you guys a reference point, there's 5 deals on the week of February 1st. The week right before that, there's 2 deals, and then 2 weeks before that, there's 2 deals. Okay.
Calgary to London is $520.
Yeah, it's fucking so cheap from there. Then you go to YEG deals. We have bullshit deals. We have Edmonton to Jamaica. So they posted this on January 18th. I knew about this deal from me randomly searching shit since like December.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So they have Edmonton to Jamaica for $400. And they posted this on January 18th. The deal before that was posted January 3rd, and it's Edmonton to Yellowknife. I was like, Jesus Christ, man! You guys
Actually,
can't
I was
even.
thinking of going to Yellowknife.
You guys can't even give us good deals.
You want to go to Yellowknife?
No, not right now. Not anytime soon.
It's because their Aurora Borealis is supposed to be really strong this year.
I'm good. I'm good. I do want to go to Alaska one day. For no reason.
Slightly out of the Arctic.
I think my inspiration to go to Alaska is purely from like the Simpsons movie. It's like, oh wow, it looks so cool there. So
you get on the plane. Yep.
Yeah, it's a piece of shit.
Alaska. Let's go home, guys.
Yeah. No, I have no aspiration to go to Yellowknife or Alaska. What's the furthest north you've been, Viv? Like, is this the furthest north you've been?
Probably, actually.
I've been to Fort Mac. That's 5.5 hours by driving north.
Yeah, actually.
So Fort Mac was the furthest north I've ever been. But I don't really have aspirations to go any further. But now that this whole Calgary thing has like creeped,
Victoria is still south.
Yeah, it's south of us. Yeah. But now that this whole Calgary and YYC deal thing has crept into my brain, I'm like, oh, dude, why don't I just do this? Like, it seems so much more convenient. The other nice thing is that Joyce's family has a shop in Red Deer, so they actually have an apartment there too. So we could like stay the night before we fly in Red Deer, and then drive like less time to like go, and if we have like an early morning flight, for example.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I think I've concluded that from now on, I'm just gonna search from Calgary and from Edmonton, and then if it's significantly cheaper, I'll go from Calgary instead.
Yeah, I would do the same actually.
Yeah.
Damn, that's sick. Right,
so a life hack for you guys out there. The only reason I know about this shit is because I'm not that busy at work. So every so often I'll go. Okay, if I haven't booked a trip in the last like 6 months, I'll start looking for one. So for example, I already have one coming up in May. So I probably won't look for one until next month. Next month or the month after. So usually I have a trip lined up before my upcoming trip for the next trip, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Because I always think around like 4 to 6 months before is the like best timing. So if I were to go in September, then I'd want to book between March and May, right? Yeah. And then my next trip is already like end of May, and I booked that before I left to the Philippines. I booked that I think in December. So yeah.
So the day you go to Thailand, I'm gonna be so excited for you.
I've been to Thailand before.
Recently?
No, not recently.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I'll go without my friend Annalyn, because she's she always
so fun.
She always wants to go. Oh, I mean, she has family, right? And she's like balling as fuck. And I think my group of friends, we want to think of a friends trip soonish, and to like maybe Thailand.
Like the guys.
Yeah. Because we used to do guys trip a bit more often than now, but now it's a bit tough. I don't know why it's a bit tough. For me, it's not. Like, for me, I can go any fucking time. I always tell them, it's like, hey, you guys ever want to go on a trip? Just let me know. I'm always down.
Yeah.
I guess recently I went with my one friend to Spain. That was one of my guys. But like as the group of 4 of us, we've never really been. And then now with like girlfriends and stuff, we'll probably bring them too. So it'll be like a bigger trip if we go. But Thailand would be perfect because my friend is relatively, or she's significantly rich there, right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of people are, but yeah.
Yeah, but her family owns like car dealership, so they get cars all the time, right? So she could literally just grab a van and like drive us around and stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and not even her, like she has drivers and stuff when she's there. So yeah. Anyways, I went to the Philippines. I just want to update you guys on that. It was a fun trip. Nothing too special about that. Like, I felt like Philippines was kind of like Vietnam. So I don't know if you've been to Vietnam, but Southeast Asia in general.
Yeah.
When you get there, the airport's kind of shitty. Like Vietnam and maybe even Thailand and all these places, their airport's nothing compared to like Japan's airport or like Vancouver's airport, San Diego's airport. It's like
Vancouver's airport is like obviously Japan's gonna be really nice. But I think Vancouver is also one of the more celebrated airports in Canada.
Yeah, and generally, I think a lot of these quote unquote first world airports, they're bigger. They have taller ceilings. They have more space everywhere. They have comfortable seated areas. But like stuff like Vietnam, it's like a shit show. It's like shitty benches, and then it's just the gate, right?
Oh my fucking god! You expect Rome to be really nice?
Oh,
Rome's
no, it's not.
Ugly as shit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Rome literally seems like like if you didn't hear about Rome being such a great city, you would expect Rome to be like some third world city where no one goes to, and like, oh, when you go there, you're not gonna be able to find good food or any like fucking anything.
Yeah,
and like no one's there gonna be. There's no hospitality. There's no like tourism budget. There's like nothing. Like it's so fucking bad. And you know how usually there's like a public transit system right outside of any airport? For that one, you have to walk like 5 blocks away on the side of the road, and there's no like, it's not paved or anything. That's the main airport's bus station. And I was like, what the fuck?
So that's pretty similar to, again, like Vietnam and Philippines and shit. They have like a transit thing, but it's just garbage. Like it's just so shit. Every taxi driver there is trying to scam money off of you, just like in Vietnam. So Philippines, just like in Vietnam. When you go in and check in your bags when you do leave the Philippines, it's just like Vietnam, where there's people like literally wrapping boxes in like the saran wrap thing, like where they're trying to wrap the whole box, just like that. Everyone's bringing like a fuck ton of bags, and so like I'll kind of skip a part of my trip. So when I was leaving, the airport's so bad that they don't really have self check-in. Like you literally have to go to a counter and you have to like grab your ticket there. They don't even send you the boarding pass to your phone. You have to go to the counter. So I was waiting behind all these people with like, I swear, like 5 bags per person, they're trying to check their bags in, and I'm just waiting there with my one like rolly carry-on. I'm like, I just want my boarding pass, guys. I'm not trying to check anything in. I just want my boarding pass.
You couldn't like check in or like print out or do all your boarding stuff outside of the kiosk?
No, so you can do online check-in, but you still have to pick up your boarding pass at the kiosk. But it's like the lineup is the same lineup as if you were to drop bags off.
Oh goddamn! What the hell?
Yeah, so it's like a absolute shit show. I'm like,
that's so inefficient.
Wow, this sucks. Yeah. But yeah, so like that's similar to Vietnam. So like I feel like the airports and like the lifestyle and it being like Southeast Asia and all this stuff is like very similar. Everyone's trying to scam you there. Every vendor, every taxi driver trying to scam you for money. The only difference that's nice is like in Philippines they all know English, right? So I can actually talk to someone, right? In Vietnam it's a bit tougher. Like not knowing any Vietnamese is kind of tough. But anyways, I get there. It's, you know, whatever average. Go to Joyce's like family place. Like I don't think I think Joyce's family is like not, I wouldn't say rich, but like her dad has some businesses there, so it's decent, but it like they still live in the village kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's similar to like my dad's family in Vietnam. So I was like, there's a lot of similarities. So I think they were expecting me to be a bit more culture shock, but I'm like, I'm kind of well traveled around the world, so it's hard for me to be shocked by that. And 2, it's like it's literally like Vietnam for me, so it's like there's not much of a difference, right? Even the food is kind of similar. Like there's still differences, but it's like relatively, you know, Asian
similar food.
I mean, they use a lot of like vinegar, fish sauce, stuff like that. Very similar to like Vietnamese cuisine. The difference is like they use different, you know, vegetables, different parts of the meat, right? Like different organs maybe or stuff like that. But in general, it's, you know, relatively same. They eat a lot of rice there. So maybe in Vietnam, maybe a little less rice, maybe a bit more like broken rice, vermicelli, things like that. And then just straight up rice in the Philippines. So in the Philippines in general, it felt pretty similar. But it was nice because like having Joyce's family, they pretty much just had like cars there and they just brought us to places, right? So like we pretty much took road trips the whole trip. That made sense. So after we landed at her hometown, they just kept driving us to different places. Unfortunately for me, the first place we went to, I don't even remember any of these names. Like we just kept showing up at different towns. I was like, dude, I can't remember all these fucking names. Unfortunately for me, the first touristy place we went to, we went to the tourist thing, and then usually next to the tourist, there's a bunch of vendors selling, you know, like shirts and things like that, right? And the shirts were so nice. Here, I'll show you. Like normally t-shirts. Especially at tourist place, I think the fabric's usually kind of shit. But this, I felt like the fabric was really good, and the design wasn't sewed on. It was like weaved in, if that makes sense. So it's not like, so you know how some shirts you print like a design on it, or you sew a design onto it. But this one is like weaved into the shirt. Like as they built the shirt, the design was built into it.
Oh yeah,
right?
It's actually pretty nice.
So like it will never wear off because this is literally white inside of black kind of thing, right? But this was the best clothing I found in all the Philippines, and it was the first day we were there. So I bought like 3 or 4 of these, and after it's like, oh, you know, I don't want to spend all my money in one place, right?
Yeah.
Like, we'll go somewhere else.
Isn't there also supposed to be a quote or a phrase where like you also shouldn't spend your money on the first thing you see?
Yeah. That was exactly my mind, right? There's all these nice things there, and they're like, these shirts were the cheapest and best quality of my entire trip.
Oh damn!
But it was the first place we went to, so I was like, oh, I'll just buy a couple, and then, you know, the next place we go to, I'll buy some more, right? Like, I'm sure I don't have to spend all here, and like, there's only these designs, right? I want to see other designs too. Unfortunately, like, nowhere else could compare, so I didn't buy any other like shirts and stuff after that. I was like, God damn it! If this came later in my trip, right? Like, if it came like a week later, a couple days later, I would have been like, oh, I'll buy more, so like I don't have the opportunity later, right? So I'll buy as much as I can now, right? So unfortunately,
how many shirts were you looking to buy?
Well, it was like, it's really nice souvenirs.
Yeah.
Like, if I got this for like my friends or like my family and stuff like that, because they're so cheap. They're like about, I want to say like $3 to $4 for one of these.
Yeah, that is really
3 to 4 CAD for one of these shirts, and I felt like these is like really high quality shit. So
yeah, it's not bad. It actually feels pretty nice.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck. So I was like telling Tristan, if you see any more of these while I'm gone, because Joy stayed for 3 weeks and I was only there for 2 weeks.
Oh, really? She's still there?
No, she's back now, but she stayed an extra week. Right. I was like, yo, if you see anything else that's pretty fucking good, like the same shirt as we found, but I don't think she found anything similar. I was like, damn, all of the areas we've been to, that was the best one we found. I was like, God damn it. And I think this tourist place, not a lot of people go to too. So I was like, well, I guess it's pretty lucky we even went to this place.
Was it like a smaller town that you first hit? Or?
No, it was like a lighthouse. It was like a giant lighthouse, and then at the bottom of it,
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, at the bottom of it, they have these vendors, but there wasn't many, and there wasn't like a lot of traffic. Like, we didn't see a lot of people come in and out of this area, so I was like, oh, it's not that popular, right?
Do the lighthouses there look the same?
So because they're Spanish colonial, it's more like Spanish style architecture, right? So using like shingles, like, you know, the Spanish shingles, and then the flooring using that like tile, the Spanish tile. So I think anything that's kind of touristy was more Spanish influence.
Cool.
Because I don't know, like everywhere else around, again, it's just like Vietnam. It's just normal Filipino buildings. It's just whatever. There's nothing special to it, right? So like the touristy stuff is usually the Spanish colonial things. And then one of the first days we were there, we went to this beach. But okay, so this is like maybe me being a bit more shell shocked with this stuff, but we stayed near this beach, and the hotel there was like decent, like it was clean, but they don't have a lot of good insulation, right? So there's not a lot of like sound barrier. We were like right next to the beach, and dude, at night the waves sound so scary.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it sounds like a beast outside your door, just screaming in,
like crashing.
Yeah,
like
because it was windy that night too. Like, I think it even rained that night, so it was like not like a crazy storm, but a little stormy. And the waves, I was like, dude, this is a fucking nightmare right now. Like, it sounds so scary.
That's pretty scary, huh?
I was lucky it was kind of early on the trip, so I fell asleep pretty fast because I was still jet lagged. But like when I wake up and you just hear that like crazy crashing, I was like, damn, that's kind of spooky. Because I feel like us being landlocked and not being close to the ocean, we're not very familiar with how terrifying the ocean can be. And I think I learned that most when I went to Hawaii. Because when I went to Hawaii, I was like, oh, you know, I'll go swim or scuba or not scuba diving. What's the other thing with the snorkeling? But hearing from locals saying like, hey, you know, don't ever doubt like how strong the ocean is, right? Like, you gotta watch where you go. There's like rip currents and all this stuff. I feel like ever since interacting with Hawaiians, I have like a newfound respect. I was like, okay, if these local people are scared of this shit, I should be very wary of it, because I'm never really near the ocean, so I don't truly understand how powerful it can actually be, right?
I agree. I think I like growing up, whenever I would go to BC, I'd go to this island every once in a while called Quadra Island. Yeah. So it's a little bit further out. It's really close to Vancouver Island. And on that island, it's so small, and you can hear all the waves crash into the side of the island, because the place I would stay, it was right along the edge of the cliff. Right. And so you would always hear all the water like crash into the side of the island, basically, and it was so scary.
I feel like if you're not used to it and you don't live near there, like for me, I was like, this is a little terrifying. Like if I heard that during the day and I'm going on the ocean trip and it was a windy day, I'd be, oh yeah, this is, you know, a windy, stormy day with near the beach, right? But at nighttime, it's like a whole nother thing because it's like all dark and it's just crashing. I was like,
you don't see anything,
dude. I was like, legit, this is how you could murder someone and no one could hear it.
Yeah,
you could literally murder someone, no one could hear it. You could just, you know, dump their body somewhere. No one could see you too because it's so dark. And it's so spooky. I was like, there's some next
freaky.
Yeah, it's kind of spooky. And then also on the trip we went to 100 Islands. I think it's a very famous, I think it's like one of the UNESCO thing. 100 Islands, not this one, not Canada. Oh no, it is. No, this is the Philippines one. It's pretty much just a bunch of islands off the coast of one of the major places, and then you just take a boat ride to different islands. Each island has like a different excursion, but they call it 100 Islands. But honestly, like some of these, like this small little thing, they consider it as one island. Yeah. So that's how they have 100. But I think in reality, only like maybe 30 or 40 of them, or I think probably even less. I think probably 30 of them you can actually go on it and like do stuff on it. Yeah, so we went. It's called
Explore.
Yeah, so there's always excursions at every island, and they'll just drop you off, and you just pay for the excursion and stuff. And then there's one that's helmet diving. You ever do that?
Helmet diving.
So they put a helmet on you.
Sea walking.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Oh, I did do that.
Yeah. So like fun. They always pump air in, so like the water never goes up. It was kind of cool because they had these giant clams or whatever, and you touch it and it closes, but it's like really soft. It was really cool, and they had a bunch of like fish. It was cool. It was a unique experience. Definitely, like I like doing those experiences, especially in somewhere like Philippines because it's so much cheaper. Like if you did that same experience somewhere in like the States, it would cost like 2 or 3 times as much.
I agree.
So we also went jet skiing. I've never been jet skiing before. That was really fun. It was cool. Like I didn't realize how hard it is. So like I think the max I went up to was like 60 kilometers an hour, but like how crazy wobbly it gets after like 50. Like if you turn it a little bit, you're like fucked. Like you're like flying sideways and shit. So it was fun though. And then I feel like also from doing that, I have like a newfound respect of people that go big wave surfing because like they have to get towed on a jet ski through like rough waters to these crazy waves. I was like, damn, and like the people to control the jet ski so they can like park them right where the wave's about to start and then like fly off. I was like, dude, these people with the jet skis are actually like kind of X game type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Extreme sports are pretty.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, this jet skiing is not easy at all.
Sick. That's so fun.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think of any other highlights of my trip. It was mostly eating. Like I gained 10 pounds from my trip, which I was pretty. Yeah, I was pretty happy about it. Like 2 weeks, 10 pounds is pretty good. I think I'm already like 5 or 6 pounds down from that, but it's good because I want to. Like ever since coming back from my trip, I've been doing a new workout and I want to gain more strength, and that always comes with like a little bit of weight. So if I've already packed on a little bit, it's kind of easier. Yeah, so it was eating a lot, and I feel like this was one of the rare trips where I was like, okay, I'm gonna fully let myself eat whatever. Because sometimes in the trips, it sounds kind of dumb, but I'm a little self-conscious still, so I'm still like, oh, it's already past 9 or something. I don't really want to eat. I'll just eat tomorrow morning or something like that, right? But with Joyce's family and all that, I was like, okay, I'll just fully embrace being a complete glutton and just eating whatever they like give me and just like eating at whatever time they also eat at, just to not be weird, right? Because usually, it sounds bad, but like usually when I'm with Joyce, I'm like, oh, I'm not that hungry right now, so I don't really want to eat. We'll go eat later. Weird. Yeah, and then typically, especially if we go like France or like Europe and stuff, I was like, man, it's not that cheap. So let's just eat like a nice meal later and like starve a little bit now, kind of thing, or just grab like a small snack, right? But in the Philippines, they were like eating all the time, so I was like, whatever, fuck it, I'll just eat with you guys. Like literally all the time. I ate at like 1 p.m. and then like at 4 p.m. I was like, oh, you want to eat? I was like, what the fuck? Like I literally just ate. And like,
you still alive here?
Yeah, and then again like at 8 p.m. they're like eating again. I was like, man, that's pretty good.
That's pretty sick.
And usually the other thing I do, like subconsciously, I always don't like getting sweet drinks because I was like, oh, I'll just get water, right? Like sugar is not that good for me and stuff. But this is the time I was like, okay, I'm gonna try everything. I want to try everything. I want to try all the drinks once, right? So like there they don't have, or they do have Fanta, but it's not as popular. They have something called Royale. Or no, it's called Royal, I guess, and it's just like orange pop, like Fanta, right? I was like, oh, I kind of want to try that. Their Coke there is actually different too. It just tastes different. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it tastes less sugary.
I guess that's why when you go to like Vegas, you can try all the different like Cokes.
Yeah. That too. And then,
really, it's less sugary. I have nothing to base it off of. But if I were to guess, I would have guessed that Filipino drinks would be more sweeter.
I'm not sure about all the other drinks, but for sure the Coke was less sugary. The alcohol there's about the same. They have this like one drink. It's called San Miguel, and they have like San Miguel apple, and it tastes kind of like an apple cooler, but it tastes way better than like our ice, like our Smirnoff coolers here and all that shit.
I don't think they taste that good.
Yeah, I think they taste really bad here, but that one tastes really good. It literally tastes like apple juice with like only a small hint of alcohol. Yeah, it was really good. And then I've never had this, but I guess it's a thing. You've had Mogu Mogu? It's a drink with like lychee and coconut pieces. Oh yeah. And they sell it everywhere here too, but I guess they sell it a bit more there, and I really liked it.
You've never had this?
I've never had it. What I like the best with this is when I mix this with my BCAAs, and it tastes even better.
Oh my god!
I was like, this is crazy, next level.
Imagine if you mix your cult into that too.
My what?
Your cult into that.
Oh, I feel like that would taste that's what I did. That's actually what I did. We had like the little Yakults and then the Mogu Mogu, and I like mixed the two together.
Whoa, that sounds like it tastes awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Also, I had have you ever had like tamarind? Like the actual fruit?
Yeah.
Like just straight up ate it?
Yeah.
Isn't it like really sour?
Yeah. It kind of depends. Like, or are you talking about? Wait, can you search it up? I don't know if I've tried the real version or like the fresh version, or if I just tried the dried version. Oh yeah, I've tried it.
The fresh version looks more green, and it's really tart. It's super tart, and they literally eat it raw there. It was so sour. It was like crazy sour. And they dip it in vinegar to eat it too.
God damn.
I was like, dude, this is way too much.
Well, it kind of reminds me of when I last went to Vancouver. My aunt was peeling some pomelos for me, and she was dipping it in vinegar and chili. It was like just vinegar and chili and salt. I was like, what the hell? So
at home, my parents eat pomelo with chili and salt, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's some combo like that. And that's pretty good. I had some mangosteen too there. It was really good.
Oh, shit.
The mangosteen, I don't know, it was just like a lot of good fruits. I don't know, like whatever fruit there is pretty good. A lot of like fresh fish too. They have a lot of fresh fish. Like they literally go to the fish market and buy fresh fish and bring it home to like cook. Yeah. And I think the Filipino way, it's either they put it in soup or they just like fry it, like not deep fry, but like under fire, like coal or something like that, and they'll just fry both sides.
Oh my god, that sounds so good.
Yeah, like I mean, I was also lucky because I felt like I had a very local experience because Joyce's family is like is local there. So like I did try like Jollibee and all that other stuff, but most of the time I had pretty local food.
That's like a very special way to experience a new place, to be able to try what the locals try and eat, like how the locals eat. Yeah, so I was definitely lucky for that. And then obviously going to places, like the best part of the trip is I didn't have to plan shit. I just show up and they're like, okay, let's go here, right? I was like, okay, good. Like I didn't really have much expectation too. I just like, okay, I just want to eat good food and just see cool stuff. Like I kind of like go there with a blank slate and just like whatever you guys provide, I'll just make that of the trip, right? Yeah.
Which is kind of nice because most of the trips I always have to do a lot of planning, which is quite a bit of work. My next trip actually, I booked a tour too, so I don't have to do any planning also, which is
you booked a tour for your entire trip?
Yeah, so they'll pick me up at the airport and then they'll drop me off at the airport before my flight.
Whoa, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So my next trip is Morocco, going to Casablanca and all that stuff. And I booked a tour for the whole thing. I don't know. I was kind of like, I was debating of not doing it and just figuring myself. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, first of all, this is Africa, you know. It ain't Europe. It ain't, Asia. I can't just like YOLO my way through this.
It is true.
I look very Asian, so I'm a very easy target. And then I was like, fuck it, like I feel like this is gonna be kind of nice. I'll just book a tour for the whole thing. They pretty much like cover all the transportation and all the hotels for the entire trip.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then all the experiences too. Like excursions, you obviously have to pay more, but they'll bring you to the places.
Yeah.
And then it's just like for my next trip, it's just for the tour, it's just me, Joyce, and the driver.
Oh, that's sick.
Right. So then we can just tell him like, hey, we prefer doing this stuff, and he'll just bring us to those things. Right.
I hope you get along with your tutor.
I mean, I'll just slip him some money, and I'm sure we'll get along a lot better.
True.
As usual. But yeah, that was my Philippines trip while I was gone. That was about 2 weeks. And then when I came back, I was jet lagged. And then soon after...
How bad was the jet lag?
It wasn't too bad. I think it was like the only first 2 days was bad. Like the first day I slept really well. And then the next 2 nights, I just woke up at like 4 or 5 a.m. I just couldn't fall back asleep. So then during work, I was tired. But I wasn't doing much at work, so it didn't really matter too much. Yeah, it was pretty chilled for me. And then it was Chinese New Year soon after. And Chinese New Year's was just the typical stuff. I'm not sure how your family does it, but I have to wear like new clothes on Chinese New Year's Eve. And then like it's just chaos at the temple, you know, me kind of helping, but I was like, I'll help a little bit and then I'm going to dip. And then all these like other stuff, right? Like can't wash your hair. And then I'm also so if people don't know, I'm vegetarian for the 14 days of Chinese New Year's. So Chinese New Year's usually typically lasts like the full celebration is technically for 2 weeks, I think, about 2 weeks. And that's just because every day is something different. So for example, today we're recording this on the 16th of February, and today on the Chinese calendar is I think the 7th or something, and it's technically everyone's birthday, quote unquote. So you should be eating you should be eating like noodles and lobako. So it's like a radish cake. Yeah, so then it's kind of annoying that I'm vegetarian. You know, there's a lot to kind of have to navigate. I feel like people don't realize, but when you're vegetarian and you want to get 1 gram of protein per pound of your of your weight, it's very hard. Like you're pretty much just eating that stuff. Like you're just eating tofu and stuff because tofu itself inherently already has like carbs and other stuff in it. Yeah. So I'm literally just eating tofus and egg and like nuts and stuff like that. Yeah, just to get enough protein. So I kind of feel bad for all the vegetarians out there. I'm like, guys, you guys are literally protein deficient.
Yes, but fucking vegetarian food from the temple tastes so good.
Yeah, but it's not
that's our carbs.
Not high enough in protein, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So like during the week, I'm just packing on protein as much as possible, which makes it kind of annoying. Also, what else did I do that's new? I feel like I did a lot in the last like 4 weeks, to be honest. Other than my trip, Viv saw the new radio I installed in my car. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. It looks really seamless.
Yeah, it's literally I think most new cars kind of have like a tablet. But I feel like mine is even more customizable than most of the cars' tablet now. So like mine's literally like an Android tablet. Like there's no other, like I pretty much bypass all the other stuff. I literally use it like a tablet. I can like go on the Play Store, download apps. You can watch movies on there if you want. And then that's pretty sick. I literally took work from home time to like do that. So like one of the days this week I was working from home. And I was like, you know what?
Okay, let's be real. Unless somebody's like insanely busy, no one actually works for the entire 8 hours consistently.
True.
When they work from home.
True. It was solid. And I mean, even at work, like when I'm physically there, I'm not working the whole time. Yeah. I think right now, because I'm loaned off to a different group, and my boss of this different group is very happy with my progress already. I was like, dude, I'm doing, in my opinion, I'm doing dick all, but I guess like this is the dick all work he doesn't have to do. Right. So he's already really happy about that. So it's cool because like some of the stuff I'm working on, he actually wants to implement into the company really soon. And then every time I kind of complete something, he'll give me a new one and I'll complete that. So like my scope started with like this one thing and it's kind of grew to like 3 other things now. Right. And then my original group, in mechanical engineering, they're like really low on work right now. So they're low on hours. So they're kind of happy that they're just like, oh, pass them off to somewhere else to like grab the hours and use up. So that's good. And then my actual boss just wants me to do some training too. So he's like, hey, if you take a week to do this training, we'll just pay for that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just like trying to find the places to
in the back. He's just like, fuck, I have nothing for you to fucking do.
The legit.
But like in a professional setting, you need to fucking give you something to do. Can you just like, if you take a month to do this, just do that.
So pretty much he's asking me to do the simulation software training.
Oh, cool.
For this other, so like we're like the mechanical group and there's like the piping group, but technically that group's part of the mechanical group, but we kind of separated at one point. So he's like, oh, I want you to train on their tools, so like you'll understand their stuff, and then maybe you can be like a hybrid. I was like, sure, whatever, right? So I'm just like finding a course right now to do that, because I was like, okay, I'll just fill my time with random shit.
Yeah.
I also recently tried the sensory deprivation tank.
Oh my god.
So pretty much the last 2 weeks, one, because I've been very, coming back from the trip, I was very busy the first couple of days, but then I saw my tasks, like my to-do list and like my Notion and shit. I was like, man, there's so many shit I haven't done. Like, for example, installing my radio. I bought it like a little bit ago, but I just haven't had time to actually, I pretty much got it a week before my trip. I haven't had time to install it. So then I'm like, oh, well, now I have some time and it's on my list. Like, let's actually go through this list and do all the stuff I'm supposed to do. So one of them was sign up for the sensory deprivation tank. It also helps that last week, Joyce wasn't back yet. So I had the whole weekend to do like anything and everything I wanted to do.
Right.
So I tried that out. It's very interesting. So I got nauseous a little bit. And because you can't see you can't tell the time, I don't know how far in.
Which location did you go to? The one on White?
Yeah, the one on White. About half. I felt like it was about halfway. I got a little bit nauseous because it starts getting stuffy in there.
Yeah.
So I had to like open the doors to like vent out the air. Like the cool air makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So usually when I do get nauseous, like if like I roll down the window in the car or something like that, it makes me feel like a lot better. Or like if I'm on a plane, I start feeling a bit oozy, I just like turn on the
you open the window.
I wish I could. Yeah, so it was interesting. I don't know, like what they say at the sensory deprivation tank place, they say that it takes a couple floats for you to really learn how to float properly
and relax and really get into that mindset.
Yeah, so I felt like I wasn't really thinking of much on the first time, and I'm gonna go again. I pretty much signed up for like a membership, so I have to go minimum for the next 3 months.
Oh shit!
Once a month for the next 3 months.
How much was the membership?
Pardon?
How much was the membership?
It's $45 a month.
Oh, that's not bad.
And then you get one float a month, right? So it's just like it's pretty much $45 a float, and you have to pay for 3 at once, kind of thing. But it's like monthly, right? So I'll probably cancel after 3 just to be like, okay, I've tried it, and then I'm gonna digest it, and then I'll see if I want to keep doing it, right? So the first session was okay. Like I didn't know what to think of. It felt really weird. So the one weird part is like I'm laying there, and then you know how you kind of like sway a little bit, and then like I kind of like touch the sidewall a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, oh, like I feel like okay, if I touch the sidewall, he says like just don't do anything, and you're just like float back to the middle.
I know what you're gonna say, but then you go to the other side.
No. So
I was gonna say I had that issue.
So I touch the sidewall, I don't do anything, and then I feel like I'm gonna float back to the middle, but then it all of a sudden feels like I'm floating forever, like I'm in space, like I'm floating in this direction forever, but I'm never touching anything.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But after a while, like I said, I think midway through I started getting a little nauseous.
Yeah.
I think. One is like it gets really stuffy because the door's closed, and I think the water's evaporating while you're in there and all that stuff. I really wish they have a way to like solve that issue, like maybe like somehow vent some of the air out and like get some fresh air in. But maybe that's not a true experience. But I don't know, like I feel like being stuffy is not also a good experience.
I can see that. I also had to crack the door open when I did that, but I think from my experience, I also didn't really like it so much. Oh, because I kept like I couldn't relax my brain or my body enough to like stay in one position or like not consistently touch the walls.
Yeah.
And then when I did stay still enough to like not touch anything, I think I got like just too uncomfortable with the stuffiness or just a feeling, so I had to open the door. And after I opened the door, it feels like it takes away from the experience a little.
Yeah, for sure. So I think I don't know, like I wasn't sure what to think and how to think. They said like just like take thoughts or let them go, don't force anything. I don't know, like I felt like the whole time I was thinking there, I just thought like I just gotta not be a dick, and then that's it. Like that's the only thing I can think of. Like that's the only conclusion that came out of that.
The entire fucking air.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick, Alvin.
I was like, oh, I should be nicer to the people around me, and then that was it. That was the only thought. That was the only thought I retained from that session. So I was like, I'm not sure if this helps or not, but I think going back to what I said last year, I was like, hey, if I'm gonna try the experience, I'm gonna truly try it. So if this guy who's quote unquote a professional at this says it takes 3 to 5 times, I'm like, okay, if I do at least 3 times, I've done the minimum requirement to to fully experience this new thing, right? Then after that, I can fully pass my judgment, right? I can be like, okay, I've tried it fully. I didn't just like, you know, dip my toes in it. I've you know, committed some time, some resources, and some effort, just like yoga, right? I fully tried it. Then now I can pass my judgment and say that it's not for me or it is for me, right? So then at least later on, I'll be like, okay, I won't regret it. And when I talk to people, I'll be knowledgeable enough to say like, yeah, I didn't just do it once, guys. Like I actually tried it and I actually went through with it, and I don't like it or I do like it, right?
Yeah, to like form at least a solid opinion on it.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like most people are like really quick to judge. Like they'll just try this one thing and they'll be like, oh my god, this restaurant's so bad. But I was like, you know, maybe they had an off night.
Yeah.
Or
you ordered maybe the worst thing on the menu.
Yeah. Maybe that, or maybe it just wasn't right, or you know, the chef didn't feel himself that night. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't feeling the great, or something, right? Yeah. But if you went like 2 or 3 times and then you say it's bad, then I'm like, okay, like that's pretty hard to fuck it up 3 times. Right, like if you fuck it up once, then I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Twice, maybe still give them a okay, but 3 times, I was like, yeah, I agree that.
I agree.
Yeah, right. So yeah,
especially for a restaurant too.
Yeah, well, I think most. I don't know. I want to say most things because I feel like expectations and fears kind of builds into it too. So like if you go into an experience with some type of expectation and it doesn't meet it, then all of a sudden you're sad, but then maybe that's because of your initial expectation, right? And then you do the second or third time with a better understanding, then maybe the experience becomes better, right? And then fear also comes into it. If you go into experience being very afraid of it and then you do it, then that first experience you're really relieved that you conquered that fear or something, or maybe you didn't conquer it, and then the second or third time then you'll truly maybe get a more genuine experience.
I agree.
Right, so then I will definitely try. Well, I have to. I already paid, so I have to try a couple more times. But we'll see how it goes. The first session is literally just like, all right, just you know, be nice to all your people around you, and that's all I got of that session.
Do you think that was a forced thought and not something that naturally came to you?
Yeah, I'm not sure because as much as he says like, oh, just let thoughts come in and out, and you know, don't try to hold on to anything. That's what the guy was saying. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Like maybe I held on to that one too much then, right? Or like maybe that should have just passed or something.
What makes you think you need to be nicer to the people around you?
I think about it all the time, actually, or not all the time, but sometimes I get frustrated at people because I think they're dumb. But then, like, I have to understand that not everyone's been through the same experiences as me, right? So like literally, some people have not done the things I've done. So it's like it's hard to like call them dumb. It's literally just lack of experience, and you can't really fault anyone for lack of experience. It's just life, right? Like they just get that experience
to an extent,
right? So sometimes I feel like especially when I travel, I always think like, oh man, people like why don't they understand these things? But then I was like, well, the same thing is like I also go on like 3-4 trips a year, so it's kind of different from compared to me and other people, right?
I agree.
And then I don't know, it's just like in general, I just feel like it's good to be not a dick to people, I guess. I don't know, it's not really to make people like me or anything. I don't think that's usually my concern. I think it's more so like what you want others or what you want to become, right?
Yeah.
So like I think the integrity is like doing something when no one's around. So you want to be good, not okay, so like when you watch videos of people filming of them doing like good karma shit, it's kind of like this is kind of dumb in my opinion.
Takes away from the main point.
Yeah, I was like, if someone on a security camera caught someone doing something good, that's like, oh, that's good, right? That's just like that person just did something.
That's
right?
integrity.
Yeah, but then when you just do it for like the fucking likes and views and shit, I was like, well, that's kind of easy. You're literally just farming that stuff. Right?
The intention is a lot more lost.
Yeah, exactly. So then the whole point of me not being a dick is not because I care that much of what people think, but it's just like I want to become a better person through and through, not just as the viewpoint of others. Right.
That makes sense.
But I don't know, like that was just what I kind of thought of at the sensory deprivation. Maybe because I had nothing to think of, that's what kind of came.
Yeah.
Because I always wonder, I always wanted to go and I was like, well, am I gonna like, is my brain gonna travel through space or something, or am I gonna get really high, like, you know, high without taking drugs, like
oh yeah,
you ever hear about like holotrophic breathing and stuff where you get high through that stuff. So I was like, whoa, is this experience gonna be like really mindfucky and I'm gonna get really high? But I was like, no, none of that happened. The only cool part was like the whole I didn't push, but I bumped off a wall and it felt like I was traveling through space.
It's pretty cool that you were able to like relax your body enough to like experience that enough to have that fully as a experience. Yeah. It was cool. And then right after that, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do something nice. I'm gonna go. I think Pablo Cheesecake is nearby. I was like, I'm gonna go buy a cheesecake to bring it over to my grandma because we had to go see my grandma that night to get the Lacey and stuff. I bought one and it was so small. I was like, I can't bring this. This is so embarrassing. This is such a small. I got this for you.
It was $20. Like my whole family goes, right? Yeah. So there's gonna be like 30 people there. I was like, dude, this does not split 30 ways. Right? So I was like, I can't bring this, right?
Wait, when you saw it, you were like, yes, I still want to purchase this and bring this.
So I didn't know how big it was until I ordered. So like, I think the ones in the display, I wasn't sure which was which. I thought they had like I thought it was like an Uncle Tetsu size cake. But then when they brought it to me, I was like, dude, this is not that big.
You didn't tell her like, do you have a bigger size or this is this?
That was the biggest one they had.
Really?
At that location, they only make it's $20 for like something like this big.
Oh shit! Yeah, I like never go in.
Yeah, so I was like, man, I was kind of bummed out. I was texting to Joyce. I was like, man, I went to Pablo and I bought this fucking cheesecake and it's $20 and it was only this big. I posted a picture. It was right next to the Kleenex box. It was like half the Kleenex box. But I kind of ate my words after because I tried it. I was like, oh, this is actually really good though. I was like, this is pretty delicious cheesecake. I have to admit, it's not your typical run of the mill cheesecake. So yeah, I do admit it was pretty delicious.
You're like, fuck, I tried to do something nice. Did you go and buy another one?
No. I was like, no, this isn't working out. I'm just gonna go home
not today. Yeah.
I was like, next time. I think I've done enough new stuff for one day. You know, I already went to the sensory deprivation tank. I'm not gonna
be nice.
Yeah, that's too much in a single day. But yeah, that was me trying that new stuff. And then other than that, I think what else happened? So this week, actually just today, Tara went for teeth cleaning. And I think the quote for it was like $1,500 to $2,000, and that was because the doctor thought that he had a cracked teeth that they might have to remove. And then they went there, they did the cleaning, and it turned out to be like $800.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, like he has 4 fractured molars, but apparently none of them are fractured deep enough to affect his like nerves or anything like that. So he like there's no pain, but he's like, you guys gotta stop giving him like the yak cheese and the shit that I'm trying to like. He's like, for him, you can't give it to him. I was like, okay, well, because I used to always give him like yak cheese and stuff because I was always told like gnawing helps because it helps them like work their jaw muscle
and clean the plaque
and then clean the plaque and stuff right there. So I was like, oh, and in my brain, it always felt so natural. I was like, oh, dogs always love gnawing on bones and shit. Like every commercial you see, they're gnawing on something. So I was like, oh, this feels like a very dog thing to do. So I'm just going to give it to them, right? But apparently for him, I can't anymore because he fucks up his teeth because he goes too hard on it.
Fucking Taro.
Yeah, right?
This hurts so good!
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, God damn it, Taro. Yeah, so I found that out, and I was pretty happy that it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah. Do they have to do any actual repairs on it then?
No. They said like maybe a year or two from now, if it gets worse, they might need to, but they said right now, just leave it in. It's fine as is.
Why though?
It's just it's almost like you chip your teeth.
Oh,
but it's not like it didn't hit a nerve and like you can still use it. So other than cosmetic, you won't ever do anything with that teeth.
I see, that makes sense.
So for the dog, it's the same thing. Like it's fractured, like pretty much like if you imagine like a molar, like a side of it, a chunk of it kind of came off. But other than because it didn't go deep enough, they don't expect him to feel any pain from that. So then they're like, oh, doesn't really do anything. Yeah, so I was like, oh, well, perfect for me, I guess.
Did you get to see Taro put her anesthesia?
No, I've never seen that. So Taro's really weird. Taro is a piece of shit around me, but apparently when he's not around me, he's a pretty good boy. So like the vet literally has on file that, oh, just bring him to the back and he'll be good. So like when I'm there, and I'm like next to him, he'll like try to like bark at stuff. But as soon as they like take him away, he's like super quiet and like scared, I think, is what I think. But he's like, oh fuck.
I'm a good boy, I swear.
Yeah. So no, they never let me go in the back and see anything or like that, right? So I was like, fair enough. I think maybe because I spoiled him or something, or maybe part of it I think is because I spoiled him, but part of it I think he wants to like protect me, maybe.
Yeah. Dad, these people are so scary.
Yeah. So then,
I swear.
So then when I'm not there, he may have less of that intuition to be a dick, I guess.
Cute.
Yeah, he's just a little boy. But yeah, I think that was most of my last couple of weeks. I'm trying to think of anything else. Like volleyball's been alright. I feel like my confidence in climbing has been so shit still.
You've been traveling, or
yeah, because I haven't climbed in a while. My injury feels pretty good now, but I just feel like stuff I normally stick, I don't. But also because my hand calluses aren't back to normal yet, so like everything kind of hurts a bit more. So like my tips hurt a bit more, my hand hurts a bit more. So I feel like that confidence is in there. But also, I think a bit of it is like my self expectation. Like I always expect myself, oh, I'm already a year into the sport, I should be better. But at the same time, it's kind of tough. Like all my friends I go climb with are all like 6 foot or taller. So it's like, it's kind of rough to like compare yourself to that. Cause it's like, some of it is they literally can just reach stuff I can't reach. Like some of it, I literally have to do like 2 or 3 more moves or like do something different and use more power just to reach the same thing they do. Right. Mm-hmm. So part of it I know is mental. It's like, I'm comparing myself with my friends who may have not climbed as long, but they just have a genetic advantage, right? But a part of me also have to think like, okay, that's not a good enough excuse though. I still have to try hard and stuff, right? So it's like a duality of that, and then the not getting the result is a bit of the frustration. But I think like the old me would have just been frustrated and like angry, but I think the new me is like, not new me, but like the older me is now like, okay, I understand why I'm feeling this.
Yeah.
I just have to work through it and figure it out myself. Or not myself, but like, figure it out.
Do you feel like some of the reward comes from actually failing the way you are? Or not failing, but like not being able to figure out these puzzles as easily? Because like you go because you find the puzzles really fun to figure out, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think most of the frustration come right now, I think, is because of a bit of I'm trying to find the right word, but it's kind of like anxiety. It's like normally this hold, I would just go and grab it and just trust that I can get it, right? And then I'm more hesitant now, right? And when you're hesitant, you like slip more and you don't like anchor onto stuff better, right? And it's part of it is that hesitation. So I want to say like maybe 50-60% of that is that hesitation that's kind of frustrating me. And then the other 40% is like me comparing myself to other people, right? So like one of them I already know how to fix. It's not even a big problem. It's just like, yeah, I'm not rightfully comparing myself. I just, everyone learns and grows at their own pace, right? So that's the 40% is just, I just have to remind myself of that. But the other 60% is like that hesitation is just like, I need a little bit of that confidence back. I just need to like, maybe go a little bit lower in level, get some climbs in, feel a bit more confident in my strength, my power, and then, go for some bigger holds and some bigger reach and some bigger power moves, right? And the other thing too is like I'm comparing to my friends, but I literally took like 3-4 weeks off, right? And they've been climbing the whole time. So it's kind of hard. Like I can't really treat myself like that. Like I can't be so hard on myself for that, right?
I agree. I think it's pretty hard when you play a sport or do some sort of physical activity that needs consistency in order for you to improve or even maintain.
Yeah. I mean, like I feel like right now I have a bit of the fire to like get better at climbing, but I feel like that also takes away something. So I think recently I talked to our friend Ting and he's like, oh yeah, you should do like plyos and stuff for volleyball and things like that, right? But I feel like the fire I had for volleyball is kind of like tempered a little bit.
I thought it came back a little.
Not really. I don't think so. So, I don't know. Like, I'm maybe overconfident, but I'm really confident in my whole defensive game when I play. And then me just hitting, a part of me is just like, fuck, I can't get through these like 6'2" guys blocking me. And I was like, I don't know if that's something I can ever really do about it, right? And then I understand plyo will help me jump higher and all this shit, but part of me was also like, man, do I care that much? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm treating it maybe too much, but as a sport that I just want to have fun now and not like be the very best anymore, right? Because I feel like, you know, at what I can do and the defensive side, I feel like I am very good. But I don't know. I think that fire kind of like is not in me as much to do that well, and especially not in me as much to do that well outside of the court. So like doing all the training and stuff, because I feel like my current training routine I like, and I don't want to like kind of mess it up too much.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's like right now my training routine's like zone 2 cardio, a lot like really intense strength stuff, and then climbing and volleyball, right? And I feel like I have a really good balance. Like I literally work out twice a day, 5-6 days a week, right? I was like, I can't get any more than this. Like this is max out, right? So it's like I was telling Tang, I was like, yeah, I could do plyo, but like remember, everything I do, I have to take away from something else, and then I just have to like be very conscious about this, right?
Yeah.
So part of me, again, going back to I want to live forever, I know zone 2 training, weight resistance training will increase my VO2 max and increase my potential of higher longevity. And plyo and volleyball specific stuff may not do that as much. So then I have to like, that's kind of my current mindset. I was like, hey, is that something I should do? And the cool thing is climbing actually does kind of go into longevity. So better grip strength actually is like a weird metric for living longer.
Really?
Yeah, people with better grip strength tend to live longer.
Oh, why is that?
They don't understand it, so like they don't understand all the causality to it. Again, it's like, why is VO2 max an indicator of living longer, right? You can kind of predict some stuff though. So VO2 max, it's like one thing Peter T always says is like, that's the one thing you can't cheat. So like if you went to do a VO2 max test right now, Viv, and you don't really do any cardio, you won't have as great of a VO2 max.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's just a test that you cannot cheat. So like some metric like weightlifting, if you just train really hard at weightlifting, in 2 or 3 months time, you'll get really good and you can get into a really high level. But VO2 max takes like a long duration to build up to be really good at, right? And the other thing they expect is that VO2 max, people with good VO2 max most likely have good discipline. They're training all the time. So that means they're probably doing a lot of physical activity. And they're probably eating relatively healthy. So that's probably why they're living longer. Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's a trend they see, but they don't completely understand why it leads to people living longer. But it's just one of the trends they always see, right? And then grip strength is the other one. Like people with better grip strength. So what they suspect is that at older age, if you have a better grip strength, you prevent falls. And falls at an older age usually lead towards death because you'll break something and then you can't move for a while and then you get fat and then like everything just kind of piles on after that, right? And you're in pain, you might take painkillers or something like that. Just a lot of shit happens. But high grip strength, this is what Peter Tia predicts, right? This is not, it's not complete science. It's just like, this is a trend they see and he's just trying to see why. He just thinks that, yeah, just better grip strength, probably like you can catch yourself more easily if you're about to fall. And if you, I don't know, are like in an unstable condition, you can like catch the wall easier, or you know, like anything to prevent injury. So like that, the other thing is like injuries are the doom of you, right? Especially at older age. So at a younger age, you can rebuild your muscle and tendons and stuff a lot faster. But once you get old and once you lose muscles, it's really hard to get that back. Like significantly harder. So like one of the big thing is what he's saying is like, you should avoid injuries like the plague if you want to live long. Like it's just a thing that will just kill you, right? And it's weird too, because some of my climbing sessions, I go into it and I'm just like, okay, just don't get injured today. Like, it's okay if you can't do everything, just don't get injured. Right?
Yeah.
Because I've had climbing injuries. I think I've probably had just as much climbing injuries as I've had volleyball injuries, but I've only done climbing for like a year and a bit, and I've done volleyball for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like in the last while you've gotten a lot more injuries.
Yeah. But I also think it's the knowledge of the sport too. So I think in volleyball, if I was less careful in the beginning, I would have got injured just the same amount as I did in climbing. But volleyball kind of transferred from badminton quite well in terms of injury prevention. So I prevented a lot of early injuries, and then the later on in the sport, I feel like you understand your body relative to the sport, so then you're less likely to get injured later too. So I feel like if you've been through like 4 or 5 years and you haven't, have any significant injuries, I feel like you're in a good position where you understand your body well enough that you probably won't. And then climbing is just like a different thing. I feel like it's such a niche sport that works so many like weird things. Like most of my injuries are all like hand and wrist injuries that you don't typically have in other sports or even resistance training.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. So then I don't know. Part of me goes back to like, okay, I can do all these things to get better at volleyball, but then I also have to think back like, hey, I really also want to just live longer and do these things that can help me live longer. And then I also think that I still think this. I think one day volleyball may not be in my life or may not be significant in my life. Like I actually, even right now, I think it's not that significant. Right now I play once a week. We're a very chill team and it's just fun. Like I treat it more like a social event than like a physical activity right now.
Yeah.
And at least the way I treat it right now, it's like, it's pretty fun. It's just, I just enjoy, have a good time and see people I don't see every week. And it makes me appreciate them a bit more that I'm not that competitive.
Yeah.
Right. So because of that, I was like, man, there's a lot of upside to not getting too into it. But I also see why people think that. So like if volleyball was my only sport, I probably would try to get way more competitive into it. But because I have, other sports, other physical activities, then it's like, oh, I'm kind of just juggling through these.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it could be bad too because I'm like not, getting really good at this one thing. I'm just trying everything, right? But being a generalist isn't that bad too. It's like
support generalists.
Yeah.
Do you find it interesting, or do you find that your hands go under a lot more strain because you play volleyball and you do lifting and you also do climbing, and so you're a lot more prone to hand injuries? Yeah,
for sure. Hand injuries, I feel like those were the two worst sports to combine. Is climbing. Actually, it could be the two best or the two worst, because the one thing with climbing is you're always I don't know what the word is. Is it retracting or whatever? You're like always gripping, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in volleyball, when you block, it's always pulling the other way.
Oh,
right. So one doesn't help the other, right? So like, if I'm always gripping, if I pull back, I'm never going to use a pull back move in climbing.
Yes.
Right. Because you're not gripping anything at that point, right? And then additionally, in volleyball, you're always jumping. In climbing, you use your legs, but not like that. Like you use your legs for stability, right?
Yes.
So then it actually becomes very counter the sports kind of counter each other, because you actually don't want a lot of weight in your lower body in climbing, because that's just more weight you have to pull up.
Yes.
That doesn't significantly help you go up, right? But then in volleyball, you want strong legs. You want big, strong legs so you can jump higher and reach, and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually, I feel like they're two very contradictory sports that don't really complement each other well. But that being said, I do think that having really good grip strength could potentially help in setting. So like if I have the ball and my finger strength is just strong enough, my finger and wrist strength is strong enough, it's easier for me to push. That's the only benefit I see though, because that pushing motion you rarely use in climbing. More of like the gripping for a pass, like if you do an overhead pass and you have to like kind of grip the ball and push it out. The first move is kind of climbing, but the second move, that push, is never in climbing. Right.
I can see that.
So then it's kind of like the two sports are it's like the worst two sports to get into. So if like,
in a way, because I feel like if you played two sports that both use the same hand movements, then you could very easily overstrain strain your hands.
True. But if you did, for example, I know a lot of people in volleyball play badminton. Those are two very complementary sports because they both use very similar muscle groups and very similar hitting technique, where there's like a lot of snap, a lot of wrist motion, and then a lot of wind back, and then the feet, and then the reaction time too. All of that is very, very similar in both sports. In fact, I think in badminton, you probably need better reaction time. So a lot of people that play badminton that end up playing volleyball, I feel like they're really good at passing because they can do the minute adjustment last second to like get a pass, right?
Yes.
I feel like I still had some of that from badminton, but I haven't played badminton forever. And I used to have such like fiery passion for badminton. I wasn't like really good, but I played like 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
But like one part that kind of sucked was that I played like with a bunch of like older guys that were like pretty good still. So like the social aspect wasn't there. So like I think the volleyball social aspect kind of drew me to volleyball a bit more. And then I also think that badminton's a very more so egotistic sport. Like it's literally I beat you.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas volleyball is like my team beat your team.
Yes.
Right. So then a bit of that is a little bit toxic in certain communities.
I agree.
So then I was like, oh, I'll just do this other sport where I have a bunch of friends and stuff. Right. So I'm glad I got into it, and it was like random that I got into it, but I'm glad I did. And then I don't know, it kind of evolved to something else too, right? Like for me, like it evolved from me being super competitive to now being not so competitive, but then, you know, doing a different sport and stuff. Like I feel like the most competitive I am right now is just like me against myself. Like me against...
Damn, what a line.
Well, it's like me against raising my VO2 max and shit.
Yeah.
Right? So like right now, my best feeling is when I do a zone 2 workout and my whole body's in sweat after. It's like, oh shit, I got a solid workout in. I'm so happy about that, right? And then in my mind, I'm just like, if I do this every day, or if I do this 4 times a week, every week for the next like 6 months, I'm gonna be a beast after, right? So like that's like literally my mentality right now. I was like, okay, how do I become a better version of me from 6 months from now?
Have you noticed any changes ever since starting these VO2 training stuff?
Not really. Like maybe I get less tired during rallies. I think that's would be about it. Like I definitely think I can more confidently say that I can probably outrun most of my friends.
Oh shit! Outrun for a stat base?
Yeah. Not like a burst, not like a sprint, but like if we were all to like gather and be like, hey, go run 5K. And my friends who don't normally run, I feel like for sure I can beat them. And then my friends who do normally run, I think I can. I don't think I can beat them, but I think I can keep up. Right? Like I think I won't be that far behind them now.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Like we obviously not tested that, but it's kind of nice because I feel like, okay, at least compared to most fat fucks out there and normal people out there, I can probably like outrun them if I had to. Right. Like I'm not a marathon runner or anything like that, but I feel like I have a sufficient enough stamina now. But also I feel like the first couple months I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't putting enough intensity into it.
For VO2?
Yeah, for specifically my zone 2 training. But even my zone 5 training, I think I haven't been putting enough effort into it. But I think that's like there's nothing you can do about that. I think that's like like you didn't get it right the first time, just like do it again. It's kind of like workout. Like compare your workout from the very first time you worked out to now. I feel like it's evolved probably so much, right? So I think that's the same with that, right? Like I've never really done VO2 specific training and now I've just started, right? So I feel like right now I feel like I'm doing really well compared to like 2 months ago, but probably 2 months from now I'll be like, oh, I'm so much better than like my technique and the way I'm doing the workout is probably gonna be even better, right? So like that stuff is actually kind of exciting. Like I want to say back then, if I had like realms of inspiration for physical, like physique or physical abilities, it was like gym, volleyball, and maybe badminton, and stuff kind of changed. But now it's like I'm pretty inspired to do more stuff at the gym, and then climbing, and then volleyball is a bit lower, right? So I mean, it doesn't mean in a couple months from now I won't get super inspired to like play better volleyball, but just right now I'm just like not caring too much right now. The other nice thing is like I feel like everything I've done kind of really complements my knee pain prevention. Like I haven't had knee pain in like 6 months. Yeah, I feel like obviously number one is that I play less, so that's obviously gonna help, right? But two, it's like I've been consistent on my like stability training for my like hips and knees and like the whole chain, I guess, like from foot to back, right? I've always been doing those, like pretty much between sets I always do these stability exercises, and I feel like that's really paid dividends over the last like year. Like I've been doing it consistently for like 1 year plus, and then I feel like now you kind of reap a little bit of the benefits, but it's one of those things, it's like you gotta keep doing it, right? Or you get fucked. So I don't know. It's nice. But I don't know. It could just be like my frequency of play. Like maybe if I just play more, it'll come back. But so far, like it's been consistently not there. The knee pain. So it's kind of nice. Because back then that would be the one factor. The one factor that stops me from, like, I'd be very hyped up to play more volleyball. But that's the one thing I was like, oh fuck, but my knee hurts, right? But now it's the opposite. Now I was like, I'm not that hyped up, but now also my knee doesn't hurt anymore. So yeah.
Now you have your hand.
Yeah, my hand's been a big fucking injury prone area for me. So I'm very like conscious. That's why like I also feel like that's what contributes to the hesitation. But also my mindset right now is like every climbing session I was like, okay, just don't get hurt. Just don't get hurt. You'll get better. Just, you know, try hard moves, do crazy things, but don't like push yourself over the edge. Like I feel like the more you can define your edge, the easier, one, it is to not go over the edge, but two, to push that edge, right? So if you go just to the edge, then you can push it for the next session, right? But if you don't know your edge, if that edge is a very blurred line, then that's when you're more prone to hurting yourself, and you're also more prone to not improving efficiently. So it's like every session I was like, okay, like find that edge, learn that edge, get better, and then push that edge. Yeah, and actually my current workout is really, it's the 3x5 workout. If you've, I've got inspired by Andrew Huberman and Andy Galpin. They had a podcast about it, and then Andrew Huberman, he had a Huberman Lab clips. So he had a Huberman Lab clips, I think is what it's called. So it's just a snippet of what he's talking about, and he recapped this 3x5 thing, and it's cool because it came out I think yesterday. But I was thinking about this for like 2 weeks before it even came out. So what he was saying is like, he thinks everyone should incorporate this like 3x5 workout 8 to 12 weeks per year. So like you don't have to do it all the time, but it's just like you just incorporate this to gain a lot of strength, and then you can go back to your hypertrophy and all that other stuff. But just to gain a lot of strength. So then when you do go back to the hypertrophy workout, you can do it at a higher weight. Right? And the workout's quite simple. 3 to 5 workouts per day or per session. 3 to 5 sets for 3 to 5 reps, resting 3 to 5 minutes between, doing this 3 to 5 times a week. Right. So it's kind of a range thing, but the whole point is like lowish reps, lowish sets, just to gain strength, and don't even think about hypertrophy. Like don't even think about burning anything out. And that will give you more gains. And what Andy Galpin's kind of saying is like people who train like really at a high level, they don't want to actually feel sore after. It's actually better for them not to feel sore.
You can't get back to the training as quick.
Exactly. So he's saying like this will just help you gain just strength, just straight up strength, like fuck muscle size, mass, any of that, just pure strength, right? So I'm pretty excited because I literally just started. I'm like 2 weeks in, and the one workout I found, I'm not sure if it's exactly what Huberman's talking about, because the whole 3x5 thing is very general, right? 3x5 workouts, 3x5. So they don't even say exactly what workouts, but they say generally more compound movements, right? So you get more muscles and stuff. So my workout is...
So they didn't lay out like a specific exercise?
No, it's just like a guideline, right? And then the one I found online, which I like a lot right now, is just day A, day B. Yeah. Right. You do that 3 to 5 times a week, kind of like up to your schedule. Day A is squat, bench, bent over row, and dips, weighted dips. So the first 3 is all 3 sets, 5 reps. And then the last one, dips, you do as many reps as you can. But if you do over 8, you start putting weights, and then more and more weights kind of thing, right? And then every time you do that day A, you increase all your stuff by 2.5%, right? And then what they expect is they'll probably expect that you keep increasing for about 8 weeks, and then that's probably when you probably plateau, and then you can't, right? And then you have to deload after that.
Which do you deload by?
I've no idea, but like he said, like what Andrew was saying is like you just do this once a year, and then you go back to your normal shit. And then next year, you know, you do it again, right? Just for like getting strength, a higher base strength, right? Yeah. Day B is squat, military press, deadlift, and then pull-ups. Same thing with the dips, right? Add weight, stuff like that. Same 3 sets, 5 reps. So far, I'm 2 weeks in, and I have successfully increased like 2.5% each time, which is really good. Yeah. But I also kind of like tempered my expectation a little bit. So like, I knew I could do like 2 plates of squat 3x5, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna start a little lower than 2 plates. I'm gonna work my way in. Yeah, exactly, right. And then everything else, like surprisingly, I've never benched this much before. So like I'm already at, I think the most I've benched before was like about 150. I'm at 160 now. Right. And then after today's session, I was like, oh, I can definitely get to 165 next session. Like I definitely feel like I had more juice in me for the next session.
Awesome.
Deadlift, I don't normally do deadlift. That's why I was like asking you a little bit about like form, because like I want to make sure I get that form solid. Right.
Yeah.
And then all the
deadlift is it?
Just, I don't know, just it just says deadlift. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna search for the most generic deadlift, like not any special one. Just a conventional deadlift. And then I just like looked at a video. I was like, okay, this is how you get perfect form. I was like, okay, I'm just trying to like replicate that as much as possible. So deadlift, I kind of like sandbagged a little bit too. I kind of started lower weights because like I want to make sure I get the form and like not fuck that up, right? But like bench, military press, bent over row, I know the form for all of those. So I'm just gonna like, I know what weight I should start at. And it's nice because I have been increasing. Even my, I normally never do weighted dips. I usually just do dips. Like I just do as much as I can. But now it's nice because I've been doing like, it's not much, but I've been weighted to like 15 pounds right now. And I did 15 pounds for like 12 reps. I was like, oh, I can definitely go 25 for 8 reps. And then after that, I was like, maybe I can even do like 35 for like 5 reps, right? But like, I'll see week after week.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't do a single dip.
I think I had a big problem with dips before. I actually hate dips before. Even in climbing, I hate any of this like tricep mantle movement.
Yeah.
For me, I like bicep movements. So like holds that you use your biceps to like hold yourself. I'm really good at, and then my friends aren't that good at, but my friends are really good at the dip one.
Oh shit, that's so hard.
Yeah, the dip one I feel is very hard. But yeah, I've been doing that workout. I'll see how it is. I personally currently really like it because one, I feel less tired after because you're not doing like all these crazy number of reps. I just feel less tired. Like I'm just not as like, usually before I went on my trip, after a gym day, I was like dead. I was like, I just want to go home, eat, and then literally just sleep. Like I can't do anything anymore. I can't even think, right? But now I feel like, dude, I could do another one of these sessions if I wanted to. Like I feel so good about it. And then the whole point of that session is also not to like hit like crazy max. Like you're not supposed to feel that tired and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I feel tired like soon after the workout. Like I'm not sure if you ever felt this, but like after like 5 reps of deadlift, like I feel a little wobbly. I was like, I feel a little lightheaded right now, you know.
And you like get a second wind.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like you like kind of sit down a little bit, let your blood flow, you know, to where it needs to go, get your brain right, and then you go for the next one, right? But it feels good because like that I like. But then after the whole session, I don't feel as tired as my previous workout.
Oh, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, my previous workout was a lot of reps, and I was like, all right, I want to truly focus on strength, and I think this is the way to go. So yeah, it feels good because back then I would actually only some weeks I would only work out twice a week because I was so tired, and I had all these other commitments and stuff like that, right? But now I feel like, for example, tomorrow I have to go climb. Usually I don't actually do any workouts after climbing because climbing is pretty strenuous. But I'm probably gonna do another workout after climbing because I don't feel as tired throughout the week.
You're able to.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the whole thing they're saying is like, oh, you don't want to tire yourself out from your sessions so you can have more sessions a week. I feel like that's very true. Like I'm literally having minimum +1 session compared to before.
Yeah, I definitely heard that the frequency that you lift and activate a certain muscle group definitely helps.
Yeah.
Probably a lot more than putting it under a lot of strain.
Yeah. And the other thing about the whole workout, the 3x5 thing is like you're doing big compound movements. So you're literally like maximizing strength. Like you're not worrying about any of the small muscle. You're literally just maximizing your biggest muscles as much as possible. So yeah, I'm pretty excited.
It has some body movements in it too, which is pretty sick. Or like the pull-ups or whatever.
Yeah, I think.
To an extent.
Yeah, it's cool because I was literally thinking and trying to like literally before this clip came out, I was telling other people, I was like, hey, you should try this just for like 8 weeks, like 8 weeks a year, just try it out. And then Huberman came out with his clip and he was saying the same thing. I was like, holy fuck, that's so cool.
Sometimes I swear when I see the uploads that Dr. Huberman puts up, I'm like, how do you know this is what I've been thinking about for the last while?
Yeah.
Literally so many topics. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's crazy. I really like I feel like he's not well known yet, but I feel like he's gonna get there. Dr. Andy Galpin. He just seems like, I don't know how to explain it. So like there's certain doctors I feel like are too ripped, if you know what I mean.
Look him up.
So like I feel like when I see a doctor that's too ripped, I'm like, okay, I know for sure you work out, but I feel like you must take something. Like, I feel like you're doing something that other people don't do that's just getting you way far ahead. And like maybe other people don't have this resource to actually do it. I'm not saying steroids, but maybe like some peptides or something that you know more about because you're smarter and you have the resource and you have the contacts, right? But Dr. Andy Galpin, like when he talks and like when you see him, you're like, oh, like this is one of us. Like this is just a normal guy who just wants to like help people max min strength and performance. I was like, this is like a bro kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have his own podcast, but he's on a lot of other people's.
Yeah. I think he's big with I think he wants to start his own I think he's been encouraged by other people to do his own thing. So I think he is starting his own thing soon. And I think it's just the way he talks and the information he gives. It's kind of like, hey, I understand that you're not in the gym all the time. You don't have all these research papers. You can't do all this stuff. So I'm going to give you like the best method to get to where you want and try to make the path like simple for you. I was like, damn, I kind of like his methods and his technique, but I could be biased too. So I don't know. Yeah, I really like his stuff. His info's pretty high up there. If you guys want to learn about that shit, dude. Andy Galpin, Andrew Huberman. I always feel like if Andrew Huberman or Peter Attia advocates for them, I'm like, okay, these guys I trust that they want to like, yeah, they know their shit and they want to max min their shit, right? Yeah, so it's like I'm less likely to have to like research shit, but I always put it on my list to research. Like anything they say, I always still like want to see the paper myself. Yeah. So I think I don't know if you've ever went through Huberman lab clips on water and like fluoride in water and shit. So I went through that, and his podcasts usually come with like references. So I actually went through the research paper, and I was like, okay, this research paper is like, it's not the best in the world, but it is true. Like the facts he gave was true, right? He wasn't lying about that. The paper is a little limited in terms of like sample size. Like if this was done with more people, I don't remember. It was an Iranian study, I think, or something like that. It was related to fluoride in water and causing development issues, but it is true. Like regardless of where you live, if your fluoride is greater than X amount %, then this is what it'll cause, right? Yeah, I'd love to see a study in like North America. I'd love to see a study in Asia and stuff like that because that's closer to my own demographic. Yeah. But there's too big of a risk, and to prevent that risk costs too little for me to not think about it. You know what I mean? So like for you to prevent it, you literally just need a reverse osmosis water system or something like that. It won't, like, not everyone's gonna do it, but honestly, it costs between $100 to $300, and you're gonna get clean water and not fucked up water forever, right? It's
worth it.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And yeah, like I was like, dude, I'm for sure this is a thing. I want to tell people, tell other people about it because I'm like, dude, our water's fucked. Like in Edmonton, they put too much. Like there is, first of all, they shouldn't put any fluoride in the water, but there is.
Edmonton's water is so hard.
Yeah, but also the fluoride percentage is like higher. I think the percent they were looking at was, or the ratio they were looking at was, I think like 0.5 milligram per liter. Mm-hmm. And we're at 0.76 in Edmonton. But 0.5 was like the threshold for them to say that this is unsafe based on their studies.
Right.
So anything lower, they're saying is probably safe. Anything higher is probably unsafe, right? And Edmonton's at like 0.76. I was like, well, our water's fucked then.
Have you convinced Joyce to change her water?
She doesn't always like me trying to convince her to do shit, which I actually completely understand. Like, yeah. I don't like people telling me what to do, but if you told me and you gave me the sources and I read through the sources, then I'm like, okay, fine. I will.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Like, if your logic is undeniable, then I will be convinced. Mm. Right. But if there is, like, I don't blame her because it does sound a little bro sciencey when you talk about fluoride and water, and there's a lot of like conspiracy theories and shit.
Your water, we're gonna die.
Yeah. There's like a lot of conspiracy theories behind it, so I kind of understand the skepticism that some people have with it, which I would probably have the same skepticism. But I can link you the paper if you want. I can link you the podcast if you want, and you know it's pretty good.
Show you the facts and studies.
Exactly, right? So, like, I'm actively trying to prevent myself from like falling into these traps where I actively like every time I listen to like some type of fact on a podcast, I'll like put it on my to-do list. It's like, oh, research about this to make sure it's true, right? Too. So I was like, I don't want to only take at face value, but at the same time, if a credible source has told me and I see even one speck of evidence of it, then I'll be like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm like, I'm convinced already. I don't want to go that deep, right? So that is a little bit of bias in itself.
For sure.
But it's tough, right? Like you have to trust some things because you can't research everything in life.
I agree.
Right? So you have to trust something, right?
I think there's probably a tinge to it that you also like conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, if this works, then this would be sick, or if this is true.
And I think most of the time, a lot of it is half truths too. So like, for example, the whole fluoride and water thing. Great, they did show that that's the case. Unfortunately, it's not a larger study, so they didn't have more sample size with different demographics. That would have made it a more compelling argument.
Yes.
But what they're saying is not a lie either, though. What they're saying is true, but it's not like a very convincing truth yet because it's not well studied enough.
I feel like to an extent, the sample size really makes a study credible or not.
Yeah.
Because if your sample size was less than like 200, then
yeah, and I think I kind of get why some people are also skeptical because the demographic might matter. So like, I don't know, if you talk about like cheese and stuff, Asia's fucked, but if you're in Europe, it's fine, right? So it's like the demographic. There are some variables that you don't even know have an effect until 10 years later. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Until they did the proper studies. Then they're like, oh, because they, ate cheese as they grew up, they're more immune to this thing, for example, right?
They could be like, cheese is poisonous and upsets your stomach, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just because this demographic lacks lactase.
Exactly, right? So then, what Huberman's saying is not a lie. I'm just thinking that after I read through the studies, it could be a more compelling argument. And the next question is, why hasn't anyone in the States studied that, right? That's the conspiracy side of it.
Have you looked into that?
I don't know. I didn't go that deep into the rabbit hole.
I was just taking it as true.
Yeah. Because, like, I was like, it's kind of sketchy. I was like, who's stopping this, right? Like,
Big Pharma.
Legit, like, if I was the guy selling fluoride to all these cities that put it in their water, I'd be like, yo, these guys are fucking lying. Fluoride's perfectly fine for you.
Yeah.
Ask all these other people, right? Like, I would try my best to make sure that's not true because it's a survival instinct, right? It's just like, I just don't want to lose my whole business and way of life and stuff like that, right? Because they're probably making bank fucking poisoning people, right? Which sucks because, like, a lot of people with like the opioid crisis was like, why didn't the Sackler family do this and do that? Why they like, lie to people and like legit like have like fake studies and all this shit like that, right? So like 80 or 90% of me is like, you're fucking right. Those guys should have not been such assholes. But then 10% of me was like, okay, what if I was the Sackler family? I'd be like, no, I kind of like my money and I kind of want to like keep this generational wealth within my family, right? And the only way to do it is to fuck something up and collude with more people so you can push away your liability and shit like that, right? So part of me is like, it's the whole like Europe prison thing, right? Like, can you blame someone for trying to escape prison? No, it's a natural human instinct, right? So you can't really blame someone for trying to like better their own life, right? And then unfortunately, to better their own life, to hurt other people, yes, that's very like bad, but it feels very
understandable from their perspective.
It feels very human nature-y, right? Which is like kind of hard to say like, you're a dick, but then if I were in your position, I might do the same. So like, what am I, right?
Yeah.
Because like you can't expect, and I don't expect everyone to have the utmost integrity. I'm actually very skeptical when someone says they have really good integrity. You know what I mean? Like, you're uncorruptible. Are you sure? Like, I feel like those are always the first people you try to corrupt are the people who think they're uncorruptible, right? Because it's almost like a challenge, right?
Or they're more easily.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know, like, I want to say, I mean, I do have to say, as a professional, I have the utmost integrity, right?
I will not be corrupted.
Yeah. But human nature-wise, I feel like it's tough. But I actually think the reason why I say it's like 90-10 in my mind is that I feel like the the conscience must weigh so heavy on those people, knowing that they indirectly killed all these people, right? Like for me, I feel like that conscience would weigh on me so hard. Like a reason why I think I would never be able to successfully get away with murder is I feel like the conscience would weigh too heavily on me. Like the guilt would be too heavy on me for me to successfully get away with murder. I feel like at some point I will give myself away or like give up. Just be like, I don't want to run anymore. Like I did something bad. Like I just want to like you ever do something bad when you're a kid and like you sacked up and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna accept the punishment. And then when like as soon as you got the punishment, you're like, I feel like 10 pounds lighter. Like I just feel so much better. Like I deserve this and I just want to take the punishment and move on. Right?
Who did it? And they look at you and you're
like, fuck.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah. So I feel like, I don't know, like for me, I wouldn't be able to do that because I feel like my conscience would just be like so heavy on me. But at the same time, if you're the Sackler family and you're like the son of the guy who made the decision, you can't like, it's like you were given the position next, right? It's like you can't really do anything, right?
Like, yeah, fuck everything. Fuck. Yeah. Like, my family's been lying for years, but like fuck them.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's kind of hard. All right, anyways, any more other updates? I don't know. I think that was it for me. Like you guys are pretty caught up in my life right now.
I think my life was pretty caught up from the last podcast.
I'm just trying to think. My goal was I've been shitting the bed on the whole Europe thing, so I'll let you guys know later if I can find anything. I'll be honest with work right now. I'm liking what I do right now. Like the projects they've given me is really good. Even though there's not much current work, but I feel like they can really branch me off into some like exciting shit. Like, yeah, it's kind of exciting. Like my boss actually asked me to update my like corporate resume. I was like, oh, that's kind of exciting. Like maybe they want me to like go for a different opportunity now, right? Like,
it's pretty exciting.
Like maybe they see some potential in me to like go off in this other direction, which is kind of exciting, right? But that also kind of puts a doorstop into my plan of like leaving, right? So I'll see. Like, I'll see.
In that case, there's never really a perfect time to leave.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to say like, is there a better time? Like, oh, what if I get high enough in my company where I could literally like they literally send me to a different project overseas, right? Then that would be like almost ideal because I stay with my company,
right.
And I get to advance and I get to travel, right, and all that shit. But I don't know. I'll play by ear and I'll see how it is.
Pretty fucking crazy updates.
All right, you're just really quiet on the thing. That's all. Oh, Viv, you pressed the button on the thing. Sorry, guys, we had technical difficulty. I hope you guys heard Viv all the time. I'm not going to go back and try to check all that.
That's okay.
But yeah. All right, cool. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. We'll talk about some random shit.
Ciao.
Bye.